What is going on, guys? Jack here, stage name Ninjak, and we are back with another training session in my road to number one. But this is a little different than what you guys are used to because I have Jamvad with me live. So say hey.
What's up, y'all?
So we are gonna
Can you hear
do. Oh,
me? Okay. Now I was saying, can you hear me? I wasn't sure.
yes, yes.
Cool, cool.
So we are going to be doing battles live. I'm actually streaming right now. And this is from your perspective, it's just going to look like Jamvad doing a live with me. I'm going to be playing battles and doing my training, following my process, and he's here to help me with the analysis and just in the battle help prompt my thinkings because I've been playing a lot, I've improved a lot, I can feel it, and I just thought I'd bring him in and just do some battles because the one time I did it on your channel, you kind of ghosted me at the end and
hmm
showed me how to 1v4 with Blissey. And I've done that so many
hmm
times ever since. I would never have thought of that until you showed me what it was.
Right.
And so I
hmm
thought, well, let's just do some more battles because that was a single battle and I learned really useful information. So I'll get several battles in here and we'll learn some more information like that, hopefully.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, then. Well, give them a rundown as far as like, 'cause I'm sure. Well, at least for my own. So what? I'm sure your viewers have been updated, and I
I'm
saw
sure
some
your
of it as
viewers
well.
have been up.
After I responded to your question, but sort of give them a rundown as far as like where you are.
Yes. So if you guys haven't seen, Jamvad posted a video actually responding to my question about what do you do because I have a fairly busy schedule, so I was finding it difficult to get many
Mhm.
games in, and so I felt like I had to get a ton of games in on the weekends. And I said, what do you, I feel like I have to grind out these games. And he basically was like,
Mhm.
why do you feel like you have to grind? Why would you use that expression unless you feel like it's a chore? And he said it's a lot more important to get consistency, even if it's a little bit, than to try to get a million games in one day. And since then, I have been like I get just one, maybe two, like really thought through deep analysis like I've been doing in my training games. But what I've started doing in addition is I've got my alternate account on my phone, and anytime I'm waiting, I'm playing some more Pokemon where I'm not analyzing afterwards as deep anywhere near as
Mhm.
deeply, but I'm playing to the best of my abilities. And so as a result, I'm getting like, 4 to 8 games in every day, and my mentality's way better. I have a blast. I like look for excuses to wait for stuff so I can play Pokemon,
Right.
and and I'm enjoying it a lot more. And consequently, I've actually noticed I don't know for sure that I'm climbing, but I seem to be doing better.
Mhm.
It's felt like I've been climbing. I'm not watching the points as closely because that was kind of messing with my mentality a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at
Mhm.
currently. I think I'm like mid upper 1500s. Let's see.
Mhm.
I haven't been tracking nearly as aggressively. Okay, 1566. So that's honestly a little
Okay.
higher
That's
than I've
good.
been lately. Or I would say a couple weeks
Right.
ago, I was having a hard time even getting to 1550. So it's
Right. So your average is higher.
yes, definitely. And I'm having a good time with it again. So it's been
Perfect.
encouraging, lots of fun. I look forward to I'm waking up or trying to get up early and play games in the morning. And I like
Right.
I mean, yeah, getting up early is a little rough. I'd kind of try to do that anyways, but I've actually been really enjoying playing in the morning. And I did just realize
No, that's good. Like I don't think that's bad.
it's just funny because like I've been waking up or trying to get up about 4:30, but it's hard to record at that point because my wife is still asleep and she's right above me. So if I'm
Right.
recording, I'm waking her up at 4:30 in the morning. She's not so much a
She's
fan
probably
of
not
that.
too happy with you. Right, right, right. Can't say I blame her in that.
Yeah, it's reasonable. So yeah,
Okay. No, that's pretty good. I'm really, particularly the part where you mentioned, okay, I've been, struggling, and I've gotten myself back together, right? That's like the most. You're having a good time.
yeah,
Um, that's the trickiest part where you get so caught up in, I need to get there now,
right,
and you literally lose yourself in the game. Not in a good way either.
right. It was really funny. It's I was trying so aggressively to learn. I was almost like over implementing what I'd learned. So the things I was learning
Mhm,
early on was my defensive stuff because I'd been so focused on how do I take value. I started to
mhm,
learn, oh, I can go to this and that really stops that thing from destroying me, which is valuable
mhm.
information. But as a result, I like stopped going for value at all. Melmetal and Dragapult were almost never coming in, and all I was doing was
Right.
playing defense. And I was like, dang, I learned all this stuff. Like, why am I doing worse? And then when I stopped caring again, I realized, wait, it's good to learn, but that's not like the only thing I'm doing. I still need to do what I was doing initially.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty common when you get, it's not exactly attaching to your points, but it's more of a subtle, um like a subtle, what would I call it? It's like a subtle sort of like, I don't want to lose. Like
Right.
you focus more on not losing.
Yeah. And that's what it was.
Um because you can sometimes avoid losing with the defensive backbone of the Blissey, and which again makes sense, right? It's not like you never want to do that, but
Right.
um it's subtle.
When it's turned 40 and your Melmetal comes in for the first time, you've probably done something wrong.
But nah, that's pretty good. Considering you're still in the two questions phase and mastering that. So I'm guessing now is more of just like a refining. Now, uh, it I would keep experimenting with the teams, that like other teams on your house, and seeing how that goes,
Hmm.
because it might be a factor of your team has just taken you where it's going to take you.
Uh,
Um, you can have a good run, but it's your team isn't the most solid.
mm.
So it could be a factor of like, okay, put the right team in your hand, coupled with your newly formed skills,
Oh, and
will,
open a new
while
cap.
again, it's not, well, I want to be careful about saying surging you to 100 more points,
Right.
because it's, you know, it's a tricky thing, because then you're like, oh, but you get glued to the points. But it's more about not trying to run forward with like weights in your back, like, or
Mm.
with a bag of heavy metal,
Hmm.
right? So your team can be like that sometimes.
It's not that
It's not that you're, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not that I'm chasing the golden team that will magically score me points. It's that I need to make sure my team doesn't have some kind of ceiling that I'm not aware of that's preventing me from getting where I'm trying to go.
Right, right. Which this one might, I've seen it, I'm like, but I know what teams, I've seen horrible teams do well. Um, and it's generally like a person has a good run. So you just have like maybe 10 wins in a row, and you
Hmm.
boom, 1,700. Um, and it's just happenstance. You run into the right matchups often enough, but like over time, I don't think this is going to be your team getting you to number one.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely keep playing with other teams on the alternate then and trying to see, you know, is there another team that I'm like, oh, hey, I feel like I have good matchups in most of my games with this team.
Hmm. Or at least not bad matchups. Like your team has a lot of tough matchups versus common
Yeah.
stuff. You really have to play it pristinely, um, and that can
Actually,
take away. Go
mhm.
ahead.
I actually had so one thing I've really struggled with is Halucha.
Right.
And I had a game today where I managed to beat a Halucha and I was like through the moon. I was like, I did it. I kept everything exactly as it needed to be so that this Halucha could only take two things and I could still win.
Right.
But it was like, I mean, it was like I needed Melmetal, Landorus, and Tapu Fini all at full so that I could like set these rocks and then Draining Kiss on the come in and then
Hmm.
bait him into a move after I got it. Oh, and Blissey had a Toxic on the predicted switch in. So I still had to predict to do anything. And I was like,
Right.
I have to Toxic here, hope he goes Halucha, and then basically mess with him with Rocky Helmet and Fini, and then I think I can do it. I did it, and I was so excited.
Right. But you took
But it,
four members to
right.
beat one thing, you know. So that's something that, and I looked at it, I was like, well, your team is just very poorly positioned for Fallujah. So it's like it's not just like you're not playing well. It's just really
It's
weak to
tough.
something that's relatively common, especially in your part of the ladder.
Yeah.
Um, so those are things to consider. But feel free to grab a game we can get right into and get as much training as possible.
Let's do
But
it.
as usual, the first game, I want to see you play, without any input from me, so I can
Yeah.
see where you are.
And you're following me. You see where I'm at.
Well, you're in the IDM room, but I just messaged you.
Oh, okay. I actually just got in a game, so you're MTV Jam, right? Oh,
No, I just PM'd you.
oh.
Hmm. So just copy paste that, and you should be good to go.
Undercover player.
So, I guess technically it's no longer undercover.
Sorry.
I have to make a new alt. Uh, it's just a random alt that I have whenever I don't want to be tracked. Um,
Ignore this, guys. This is some random dude. All right, so let's see here. My opponent has. Honestly, this is not. I don't think this is my most hated matchup because I got Magnezone for Ferrothorn. Depending on the Jirachi set, I have Magnezone for that too. Only exception is if it's the Cosmic Power Stored Power set, but I got
right.
Blissey for that. Um, I also have Taunt Fini, which is really good against that. Right off the
Hmm.
bat, if I get rid of Ferrothorn, Tapu Fini wins if I can get in on something and boost. Assuming it's defensive Tyranitar, not offensive, but they're almost all defensive. Although they don't have sand, so it's kind of weird they have a Tyranitar. Dragapult Shadow Ball looks really free. Except against Tyranitar. So if I can get rid of Tyranitar, Dragapult just destroys. Double Iron Bash is really good. Because even if it does bait in Ferrothorn and I take that chip, then I can go Magnezone, take it out, and now my Fini's really threatening if he lets me get one or two boosts up.
Right.
Keldeo is annoying because of its signature ability that does physical damage with the special attack. So Blissey can't quite wall it. So it's important to have Fini for that. Okay, so I think what I want to do, if I can force in that Ferrothorn early and then trap it and destroy it, I can look to get Fini in, and then I can double Iron Bash super freely. Okay, so how would I force in Ferrothorn? Most of the time that's going to happen if Fini boosts or if Landorus. Mm, yeah, I think if Landorus threatens in. My Landorus is primarily here for his, so I want to Toxic that as soon as possible. Okay. I just don't want to lead this Fini on Landorus because that's kind of awkward. So I'm going to lead my Landorus because that would be worst case. Everything else I got an answer for. Okay, that's kind of what I figured. We'd mirror each other. But I'm here for this. So if I get a Toxic off, that's fine. Rocks are helpful, but I don't think they're doing that much.
And how has it changed to talk? Because I think I told you to change this to toxic.
Yes.
You had knockoff before, right? How's
Yeah,
that been serving?
Toxic is way better, at least on this
Yeah,
team. Way better.
yeah, absolutely. You're super Lando. What I would say weak in the concrete sense, but it's not your easiest matchup if
Right.
without toxic.
So in this circumstance, I would. I prefer not to get toxic, but also my Landorus is also here for Coco, so we don't want to get toxic. So what is my best thing to swap into on this? You're not earthquaking, and if I get Melmetal in, I can probably force Ferrothorn in. So Melmetal's no drawback because you're never earthquaking on my Landorus. That would just, I mean, if you do, I guess kudos to you. Knock off. Okay, that's almost bad for you. That's interesting. So you don't have toxic because you got earthquake and U-turn. I'm guessing. In this circumstance, I'm gonna ice
Earthquake
punch.
for sure.
Huh?
It's an earthquake for sure.
Right. I'm gonna ice punch. If he stays in, then I get Lando, and then my Landorus is super free for that Tapu Koko. And if he goes to Ferrothorn like I hope he will, that's really good. Anything else, it's just free chip. And because he's probably scared of double Iron Bash, I don't think he's gonna go like Keldeo or Tyranitar. That would be really weird. So Ice
Hmm.
Punch seems like the best play because I don't want to double Iron Bash and not kill this Lando, and then he earthquakes, and then I lose a lot of power because Melmetal's a really big threat. Okay, perfect, perfect. So that's good. That's really good value for me. He was Rocky Helmet. Interesting. I almost always see the left. Oh wait, I knew he was because he didn't see leftovers.
Hmm.
Is Melmetal useless? I don't think so because he probably outspeeds Tyranitar. So Blissey is my Tapu Koko answer. Yep, okay. How do I get the most value out of this? I can Seismic. Because what do you go? Hmm. Actually, I think Tox. Uh, let's see. If I Toxic and he goes Ferrothorn, great, because I can get Magnezone. If he goes Jirachi, I think also great, because Dragapult has Flamethrower, so I don't need Magnezone for this Ferrothorn. And if I trap Jirachi, that's just good value. Plus, I can get up. If I get behind Iron defenses and get a sub, then I'll get a lot of value. So I think Toxic is good because everything else. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. So he's Taunt Thunderbolt. I didn't realize that was a common set. What is he? Thunderbolt. I would assume D-Gleam and U-Turn. Interesting. Well, Seismic Toss pretty much never fails. Okay, what are you? Rocky Helmet. I got you. Thing is, you have to. You pretty much have to swap. Yep. Now this thing is scary. No, it's not. No, it's not, because I got Tapu Fini. I got Tapu Fini, and Keldeo have. Let's see here. Let's see here. I don't think they learn anything. Yeah, they don't learn anything that's especially scary to Tapu Fini. And then that can hopefully force this Ferrothorn back in. Yep. Which is more valuable for me, calm minding myself or taunting? I think calm mind because then I become an offensive threat and I have too much health for. So yeah, I think opposing calm mind. Yeah, you're just gonna scald because now I'm threatening. I'm gonna drain and kiss and get some value. Jirachi is your answer. I don't think it is. Only way your Jirachi's doing something is Serene Grace, Ironhead, or Stored Power or Cosmic. And if you are Ironhead, then I can go Landorus because I killed yours and so mine's freed up. So I'm going to taunt because the only. What in the world is that?
It's like future sight, but for a steel move.
Oh, how powerful is it?
I think it's the same power, 130 or 140. One of them.
Is it special?
Yeah,
So if I
not
just
ancient.
call mind up, I don't. We should be fine because that won't do any damage.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't flinch. Oh, interesting.
Oh, he's
So I
looking.
guess he
Oh, he's
can't
looking for
touch
all kinds of
Magneton.
hacks. I see.
Yeah, you should have scalded there. because he can Iron Head flinch you, so you never want to just keep boosting without getting a
Uh,
burn. But so your Finny is effectively at 50, even though you're not getting much out of the deal.
oh wait, what? I thought that did like 12% the first time. Why did that do so little? Um, Wait, but your Doom Desire Ironhead Thunder, so my Magnezone decimates this. Shoot, I've really weakened myself to that. Keldeo's scary now. Keldeo's really scary. Oh gosh, I guess he's just. I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. All right, I think this is. Maybe I should have just left it in at that point. Although, I can boost all the way up and then just take two things. I should have probably. Oh, it has U-turn. That's its final move. Interesting.
Yeah, you might have just swept him anyway. Why is this not um why
Leftovers.
does this have leftovers? Yeah.
So I was really struggling with Kartana, and if I did Magnet Modest, I dealt very nearly all of its health. So if I had rocks up, it would effectively remove it. Whereas, and I kept trying to use this for Kartana and not quite getting to where I needed to be.
Mhm.
And so that's why I got rid of the leftovers.
Okay.
Maybe that's not the right call, and I'm just not playing around Kartana correctly. But I was really having a hard time with Kartanas.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's just that now the zone is gone, which you needed for Ferrothorn.
Mm.
But I guess he just gave you, you know,
He just
he's
gave
super
me my
weak to ult.
Dragapult answer.
But
Interesting. Okay. Well, I will take that.
yeah, so I mean, for the most part, well analyzed. I'd say probably a little sloppy with Finny. There is no reason for you to be setting up
Yeah.
as much as you did because, you're not beating Ferrothorn, whether you're at plus 20 or not,
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really make much sense for you to be trying to beat Jirachi one-on-one.
Yeah.
You had a plethora of things that could come in on Jirachi. You saw Doom Desire, you saw Ironhead, Stu Steel moves, you saw Thunder. So that's already a move that you already know for the most part it can't do much to Landorus
Mm-hmm.
or to Magnezone.
Which I wasn't even
Um,
thinking about. I was just like, haha, I get free Feeny, but for what?
right. So luckily he played pretty poorly in the end game, so you managed to not get punished. But
Mm-hmm.
that end game was less a result of playing well and more he just played worse. Uh, so for example, he could have went Coco and probably killed you from there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it might have been close because I don't know your spread exactly, but you can't kill him back, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Uh, yeah, so he'd probably kill you, which makes Ferrothorn a lot harder if he just saved his Tyranitar. There's several things he did incorrectly in that end game,
Mm-hmm.
but um, again, it's just getting lost in the moment and not like thinking about why you're calm mining to begin with.
Yeah.
He has a Coco, a Ferrothorn at full, and an Iron Hitting Jirachi. Just likelihood of you sweeping is pretty low.
Yeah. There
You'd
were,
have gotten far more value from just switching to Lando. What's his ground resist?
oh, it was dead. Oh,
So Lando
yeah.
offensive was a pretty big issue. Um, Blissey, what is the Blissey set?
Toxic Seismic Wish Soft Boiled.
Okay, so if it has a wish, I noticed you went for seismic toss the turn. He taunted you with Coco,
Mm-hmm.
but you were gonna go for like toxic or something,
Yes.
which I don't get what the payoff of toxic was. What were you trying to toxic?
My thought was if he went the things that were immune to it, I wanted those to come in anyways. And if he went Keldeo, that was something I was concerned about because of setup variance,
Wow.
and just because I've
Wow.
struggled with them in the past, although I might have lost Feeney in the past, maybe that was why I struggled.
So let's say, what are your attack options? What are your just options for moves you can click?
With Blissey, Seismic, or Toxic.
No, well, like what are your moves? All of them.
Oh, or Soft Boiled or Wish.
Okay. So Toxic doesn't matter versus two of his Pokemon. Coco was in, so obviously Coco wasn't threatening your Blissey. This is before you taunted, by the way.
Hmm.
Because we didn't know he had taunt at that point. And then his
Right.
other options were Keldeo and Tyranitar, which could threaten Blissey. So when you have a full health Tapu Fini that beats Keldeo and you have a full health Dragapult. So why was
Uh,
Wish not a consideration?
well, in the moment, I thought I was baiting in Ferrothorn, so I was like, well, if I Wish into Magnezone, I'm not taking any damage basically anyways. But I also don't have leftovers, so that's not really true because that gives me potentially one more live, and if I've got multiple boosts, that's actually pretty valuable. Yeah.
Well, why is Wish not an option? Like it didn't seem to come up in your list of options in your head. So why was Wish not an option for you?
Mainly because my team was all healthy, so I was like, I don't think anything needs this, and I wasn't afraid of an offensive threat. Like I didn't see a Specs Bolt that I wanted to be able to wish into something, live it, and then attack. But it should
And
have been
so,
an option because it covered
well, I
everything.
mean, it's your best play, so it's not like a question of should it been. It's your best play. I'm
Hmm.
trying to understand what you think Wish does, and I don't mean like in the mechanic.
Right, right.
And so I got a bit of insight because you think of Wish like, oh, I only use Wish to heal. But if you're concerned about Keldeo, if you wish, you can easily switch back out into Tapu Fini, which gets
Yeah,
walls it. If he goes into Tyranitar and you wish, you can go into Landorus, you can go to like you wouldn't take any damage
yeah,
because the wish would heal it back up and shift offensive momentum to you. If you wish and he goes to Ferrothorn, you go Magnezone, doesn't matter what he does. The point is trapping it.
uh-huh.
So that gets trapped.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
know, the wish Toxic wasn't really important. The Keldeo was not winning unless you just stayed in and let him go to +6.
Yeah, you're
Right?
right.
Tapu Fini always was going to lose. I mean, Keldeo was always going to lose to Tapu Fini. So that's not something you should be worried about. Anyway, Coco isn't something you should be worried about because you have a Blissey in front of you and you have a full health Landers
Hmm.
and a Magnezone and a faster than the Dragapult. Um, Ferrothorn shouldn't be a concern. You have
I
a
got
Magnezone
Magnezone.
and Jirachi shouldn't be a concern. So it's really what is the concern for you to need to like toxic? Because even if you're toxic, the only one that would matter versus is Keldeo. Important, like at least that's really important. T-Tar not so much. You weren't really struggling with Tyranitar to begin with. Um, it'd be nice, but you lost far more if you went to Jirachi than you would have lost if you wished. You lost nothing if you wish.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I see what you mean. I was so
So you
focused
want
on, I was like, well, I should
to,
attack because I'm playing more aggressive, but I didn't think, I just thought about that turn. I said, well, these are my two attacks. But
yeah, but
if
you
I
have to have a
wish, I
purpose.
shift to a more offensive threat for free.
Right, but even if you attack, what is the attack doing for you in the long run? If you say you're winning with Finny, let's say you attacked with Toxic
Yeah,
um or Seismic Toss, neither of them really
they don't
like it's not
progress
as if
me.
you needed not really, right? If
Yeah,
you again it helps if he goes hard Keldeo, right? But it's not as if you need Keldeo Toxic to win, nor do you need Tyranitar Toxic to win,
yeah, you're right.
right? And so the Blissey ends up getting super low. Um And I mean, he had U-turn and Rocky Helmet, so part of it couldn't be helped. Uh, but the Blissey would have been helpful, to sort of not allow Coco to be as problematic. Though
Mm-hmm.
again, I don't think it was that problematic, but just something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really focusing on what you're supposed to be doing in the game rather than having a really good game plan and then shifting in the middle of the game to turn by turn play,
Yeah.
which is what happened with Finny and what happened with Magnezone and what
Mm-hmm.
happened with Blissey.
Okay. Perfect.
So pretty, again, really good game plan. You just want to remember what your game plan was, because if something very common that happens with most players is they have their game plan and then they just hop in the game, and it's as if they never made a game plan.
Yeah. I'm definitely guilty of that.
Right. And how you can get around that is focus on each at the end of each turn. You have multitude of questions, whatever helps with you, right? You can say, okay, all right, you know, what am I trying to win with? Or
Mm-hmm.
how do I take value? Or, something of that nature that brings awareness up every turn,
Yeah.
right?
That
Like
makes
I've
sense.
been doing this for long enough. So like I don't have to ask questions. Like I know what I'm trying to do just
Mm-hmm.
by looking at a person's team. Particularly when I'm in practice. Right now I'm not as practiced as I should be. So it's not as like on 100%. But roughly I know like, okay, we are weakening Ferrothorn. So I don't say it out loud all the time when I'm recording.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're just starting, it's important to remind yourself, or else you're gonna go into turn by turn thinking, and it's the end of the game. Your Dragapult is at 2%, your Finny's at, and then you're like, oh shoot, I lose to Tyranitar
Yeah.
when Tyranitar should have like been the easiest thing to kill on his team, you
Yeah,
know.
that makes sense. Excuse me.
But good all around.
I think
Go ahead.
uh I think I've I think I am playing better and I'm excited
Hmm.
about that. But certainly I want to learn, but I am pleased with how I'm playing compared to how I used to. And I try to keep that in
Oh
perspective
no,
sometimes when I do my analysis. I'm like, why would I do that? Like, yeah, but before I would have said, why would I do that to 20 things? Now I'm only saying it to like 5 to 7.
right. Hmm. So it's night and day. Like it's night and day. I think that's the biggest, because that's why I wanted you to play first. I wanted to see what would naturally happen in your games.
Mm-hmm.
And use not considering. It's sort of like the last time we did the training where, you thought you lost, and then the Blissey wishing up was teaching you defensive win conditions,
Yeah.
right? Um, and so in the same way, it's teaching you a different way to view wish, because you're
Mm-hmm.
perceiving wish as something to heal your team, but
It
it's
can also
sometimes
be
a way to
offensive.
mitigate damage.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, should I grab another?
Sure thing. Put it into practice. If I can't see a game, please just
Ooh,
invite me.
yes,
Hold on. Ninja. Okay, I see it.
you found
We're
it.
in.
Okay. All right. So Tapu Lele is always a bit challenging for me. So
Makes sense.
I want to try to position in ways. First, I need to scout. Is it Scarf or Specs? If it's Scarf, then Blissey becomes an easy answer. If it's Specs, then I know my Dragapult outspeeds. So I want to try to position. I want to gather info on it, but also position in ways that don't let it come in all the time.
Hmm.
Magnezone, no steel types to trap. Magnezone is not bad in a Blissey because I'm Iron Defense. It's, I guess it's okay in the Kyurem if it's not going to throw Focus Blast or Earth Power, but that's not that likely. Or I can't guarantee that. Blissey's here for that Nidoking potential. Blissey's here for Nidoking and Kyurem, and even potentially Lele. Okay, so Blissey has a tall task. Blissey needs to stay healthy.
Hmm.
Polt, Shadow Ball. Oh, they have a Blissey. Okay. Oh, but if I get Polton and keep forcing in Blissey, I can just double Iron Bash this guy's entire team.
Right.
Like, shoot, I can Ice Punch the whole team. 4x
Mhm.
Lando, good against Kyurem, good against Dragonite, good against Nidoking, does plenty to Tapu Lele, does plenty to okay, so Ice Punch, they have no resists. It just hits hard.
Yep.
Excellent. So if I use Dragapult in such a way, if I just start Dracoing and force in Blissey, or I probably Shadow Ball, or they'll just go Lele. But if I just start Shadow Balling to get Blissey in, and then go Melmetal, every time Melmetal comes in, I can get a lot of value. And the easiest
Why
way
would
to
you Draco over U-turn? What's the upside of that?
my thought is, I guess I was thinking about like if I'm up against a Landorus or something. I don't want to
Oh,
U-turn on a potential Earthquake.
got you.
But if it's something that can't threaten Melmetal, then that's a good point. U-turn is really valuable because it can
Well, we
get
just know
Melmetal in.
he's always gonna go Blissey, so that's
Right.
why I meant that. But I thought you meant like just in general, you Draco. But I see what you're saying now. That makes sense.
So Dragapult takes a lot of value, so I think I'm going to lead it. And if they do lead that Lele, I can swap and get a feel for what they want. Oh, okay. So they're going to go straight Blissey. That must be a rocker. Well, I can just U-turn into Melmetal. Teleport. Oh, okay. That's okay though, because I can chip you down over time. Landorus is your answer. Mm, I think Melmetal's too valuable to give up a ton of damage just to kill Landorus. Is that true? Because no, because I got Feeny for Dragonite, so Landorus is really only tasked with beating this one. So no reason to give up. Oh, I did not want to lose that band, so that's fine. So he's got knockoff, which tells me you probably don't have toxic most of the time. Stealth Rock is actually pretty valuable because that'll make it so Kyurem and Lele have a timer and that every time they come
Hmm.
in, they take damage. So Stealth
Hmm.
Rock gives me the most value. He does
Yep.
go U-turn. Dragonite is your answer for Landorus? What? No, it's not. Oh, Ice Beam. Okay. Well, Tapu Fini walls your Dragonite, and that's really defensively what we're here for. Yeah, okay, that's cute. Mm.
You said that.
If it's not Specs Lele and I boost, I could potentially just win because that's teleport Blissey. And at 3, I out recover, but I would much rather just get Melmetal in on Blissey. I'm just going to Draining Kiss. He stayed in. What's he
Probably
got?
default. So now you
Ah,
learn something. And they
interesting.
think sometimes they run Earthquake or Toxic. Just depends on the Dragonite. But that's something you just learned because now, well,
Ice Beam.
now you know he can't touch Melmetal, so that's
That's what I
good.
was
But
just thinking. Why can I not just swap in Melmetal here? If
it's
you
up to you. I mean,
do what?
now I was saying it's up to you. You have to use your
Because
big brain.
I don't really want to get Feeny Toxic because then if it's Roost Dragonite, which it probably is, this gets really he can outlast me. This gets uncomfortable from a defensive standpoint. If you are Earthquake, then I guess I'd learn from that. I don't. Oh, but Magnezone's not as important. Magnezone could let me get the information I need before I have to commit anything. But it's also good against Lele if they commit to Psychic. I think Melmetal's the play. I don't think they can do anything. They want hard Nidoking. Okay, well, Blissey never takes damage, and I really don't want to eat a flamethrower because that would be very bad for me. Or an Earth Power. All right. Wish seems very good here because
Okay, you're learning.
anything he goes to, what in the
Mhm.
heck?
Okay,
Okay,
I haven't seen that in quite some time.
I'm
That's
learning
interesting.
something. Would not have guessed that. Mm,
Probably. It's
I'm
hard to
gonna
say
do.
what is that. It's probably Ice Beam Sludge Wave then. It's gonna Earth Power here. Or Ice Beam. I don't know.
I'm gonna.
She have 5 seconds.
Yeah, I had to just. I don't like having to click that fast, but Sludge Wave. Okay.
So it's probably Ice Beam last move. I don't think you can save Blissey. That's a cool tech though.
That
To
yeah, that was
weaken it
pretty
for
neat.
Kieran.
Oh, interesting.
That means he doesn't have Ice Beam, so your
Yep.
lander walls. It's probably Flamethrower or something like that.
I would
Or he
really
just
like to
thought
get
you were
HP
faster.
back.
5 seconds.
Oh shoot. Okay, so he has Earthquake. Okay, well, that means. Oh wait, dang it. This thing doesn't have Ice Beam, not this. Okay, so Tapu Fini walls
You
this.
can U-turn. You can U-turn. You were faster.
I am faster?
I mean, your Finny's faster. What's your Finny speed?
222.
Okay.
Okay, so he went Lele. Ah, that's unfortunate now that I don't have my Blissey. That's a cool tech. Superpower. Not expecting that. So what? Let's go Magnezone because that's my best sack and it'll let me get a feel. Okay, I think that's Scarf then. Let's see. I think Thunderbolt is my play. Okay, because I'm not as afraid of your Landorus because I got mine.
Is that right? So what if he U-turns? Which he will. What
Oh
do you
wait, I
do then?
lost my helmet, so that doesn't work anymore.
You never had a helmet. Oh yeah, this was helmet.
He
So
knocked
who's
it.
not helmet? He's helmet too?
He must be because he's not a. Oh shoot, yeah, this thing
Okay.
decimates me now. Mm, if he commits to Ice Move and we get kind of lucky, Magnezone. Oh, he's
So
physical.
he's Dragon Dance.
Oh, then
Which is
Tapu
good for
Fini
you. That
walls it.
means yeah. Just
So does my
again, be careful.
Magnezone. Protect? It's been a while since I've seen that.
So if it's physical, and this is where we talk about turn by turn play,
Oh wait,
do you have
Melmetal's
any
free.
idea what you're trying to do?
I was trying to just get more damage, but I guess there's no
For what?
reason not to go Feeny because that's Scarf Lele, which means I boost, I win. Unless it's like Toxic Dragonite and that's the last move.
I don't know why you're not going metal. That's what I don't understand.
Doesn't. Oh, I guess he's Sludge Wave, so I don't necessarily win.
But
Okay.
I'm saying the biggest threat to his team has yet to attack.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's what I mean, getting so caught up in turn by turn play, you don't have any kind of structure. Like every time Metal came in, it got a kill. It could have come in on Kyurem. Could have come in on Dragonite. It's yet to come in.
Okay, well, let's see. I'll go Dragapult. Shadow Ball forces Blissey, which lets Melmetal come in. I could Draco. Because Draco will kill Landorus at this range. And worst case, he goes Lele. Ah, that's pretty bad. I want a Shadow Ball against that. Physical Kyurem seems to be on the rise, but it doesn't do as much. At least not against me. Okay, so he's definitely Scarf. Which means Melmetal gets in for free here. Because you don't Focus Blast my Dragapult. So just guaranteeing. Ice Punch, best move. I think that covers everything.
Why would you Ice Punch over Double Blind Ration?
Because, oh, Landorus was low enough that one still killed. I was thinking I was reducing Rocky Helmet damage.
Uh-uh. I mean, Ice Punch is fine, but your strongest move is Double Iron Bash. He has no Steel Resist.
Let's see. Magnezone, because I can't afford to take more chip. Okay, that's fine. I just want to get Dragapult actually is better here, right? Mm, No, I think Landorus is better because Earthquake is really strong, and anything that he goes, if he goes Dragonite, then I just get Melmetal in. And you said my Landorus is faster than that Dragonite at 254?
Should be. What's your speed?
254?
Well, if your Finny is faster and your Lando is faster than your Finny, you tell me.
These are the things I need to pay more attention to. Okay, this is actually really good because this thing was kind of annoying. Actually, it was very annoying.
Yeah, your Finny should win. Just
I don't need this, and I don't really have a reason. I'd rather get in safely. So I'll just I guess U-turn if he swaps gives me most momentum, but yeah. Okay, so he's Side Shock, so that's not doing anything to Melmetal.
right. And so
And Double Iron
finally, you're
Bash
starting
kills
to
everything.
focus on taking value. He's probably
Nothing
gonna give
else.
up Q. Yeah, doesn't do anything. In fact, he might just lose here because you go to Dragapult here because it loses to the last two.
Ah. See, I wouldn't have even thought of that. I was just like, oh, Dragapult has so much value.
You have to ask yourself, are the things you're saying true?
And the answer is
You turn
no.
here. Right, you have Finny, so it doesn't
Yep.
really matter what he does, which is probably gonna be Ice Beam anyway.
Earthquake.
EQ'd. And now this
Uh,
is set up for you.
I was gonna say I don't see how he stops me if I get this boost and your Scarf, which is not gonna beat my boosted Feeny.
Right.
And I
It's
still have my
draining.
leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
42%, but I get way too much back. So
Mm-hmm.
42, so I'm losing what, 25% a turn? And they're losing 27, so I'm winning.
Right. So Scald will have to kill him here, but
Right.
yeah.
Also, I have a
You're
Surf on this set. Is that bad?
yeah, I'd still run Scald.
Let
I
me
don't think
change
Surf is
that.
worth it. And then yeah, because now um he guaranteed loses once Melmetal comes in. So you just taunt this so he can't T-wave your Melmetal and then it's over. Because Dragapult obviously kills Dragonite.
Right. And Double
I
Iron
guess if you
Bash.
miss, that'll suck. Yeah. But oh, you're faster, so you guarantee loses. Yeah.
Do I have any reason not to just stay in? And no, I absolutely Double Iron Bash.
Do you have any reason not to stay in?
I had this one game. I can't remember. I had the game, but I swapped and accidentally, or I like thought it was really obvious how I won, and then I like completely choked it, and I was like, oh gosh, I need to ask myself before I make plays late game.
Yes. Like I think that habit you were talking about of playing to not lose was
Uh-huh.
very evident in this game. You literally only sent up Melmetal probably like the last
Which is
third of the
horrible
game.
because at the very beginning I was like, I can ice punch everything.
And
And
Melmetal killed Lando, Kyurem, Blissey, Dragonite. So he killed 4 members. Right.
yeah, I definitely I'm so quick to forget, but I just got to reinforce it. I'm identifying it, so that's an improvement. Now I got to get
Right.
used to actually doing something with my identifying it.
Right. And that's gonna really take your game to the next level. Because it's again awareness. So that's where and maybe it's more helpful and let me actually point this out.
Okay.
Um a lot of what's causing this is because you're taking super long with your team preview. And obviously my timer and my lives go down, but I can play once I lock in on the idea I want, I play very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So because I don't actually the team preview is more for you guys than for me. Like I can do it really quickly if I want,
Uh-huh.
but then you don't really get to see much of what I did. And so you're just kind of watching, and then you're not really following the game. You're just like, oh, okay, how did he know the.
Uh-huh.
So like I can do a team preview where the timer goes quote unquote low and play very quickly because I know a lot more. Um, but I wouldn't recommend if you can't handle that pressure to allow your timer to go below a certain point on team preview
Okay.
because in the back end it's hurting you
I ended
because
up
you're
with like
just playing
5 seconds. I was just making moves as quick as I could,
right,
not thinking.
and then which defeats the purpose of the team preview to
Yeah.
begin with.
Okay.
So that's something to you can have like a I don't know, maybe when don't let it go below 120 seconds, just sort of a rule of thumb.
Mhm.
Really where you learn team previews in the replays. Like that's
Okay.
where you should be practicing team previews slowly as possible, not in the actual battle. And
Okay.
so over time, then you'll be able to do it quickly because you're practicing it in the replay. So then you'll quickly be able to identify stuff because you're doing the work in the replay. But
Okay.
if you're trying to do it in the battle, your timer goes down. Then because your timer goes down, you're just clicking buttons,
Mhm.
kind of not. And I should have been more clear with that. Because you're the third person that I noticed that happening with. And I'm like, okay, there's clearly a pattern here.
Mhm.
Um, so the team preview, to clarify, the best time to practice it is after the game,
Okay.
because then you can stop and say, okay, what don't I guard against? What is it? And literally do it as if you're playing the game over.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
And then
Um,
over time, you'll just become far, far more efficient. Go ahead.
okay. Well, sweet. That makes sense, and I have very frequently found myself with sub 20 seconds at turns after like turn 6.
Right.
And that has I thought, oh, I just got to keep practicing and eventually I'll get quicker, but I need to practice out of it so that I can focus in the game on the game plan and not I have 10 seconds, what do I want to do?
Right.